Hey everybody, welcome to Around the Twist episode 268. It is October 12th, 2016, and I am so sorry. I know I said I was going to record while I was gone last week. Yeah, 8 hours on the road, driving across Nebraska. Made it out there and I just was a big old pile of nope. Not gonna happen. So here we are, 2 weeks later. I've got a bunch of stuff to show you. I actually got quite a bit done. So let's jump right in. First things first, what I have on my needles, the hashtag for Megan, K-A-L, which is hosted by Bird Lake Bags. This is for Megan, formerly of the Cyborgs Craft Room, who passed away suddenly this summer. I'm knitting up a Trillion by Martina Bam on a using a US 3, which is a size larger than it calls for. I'm using the Cyborgs Craft Room, which is the whole point of this whole knit along, is to appreciate Megan's wonderful color sense and her dyeing capability. By using her yarn, I'm using her Asakulate base in Ain't No Party Like a Cyborg Party, and the Asakulate base is a 75-25 superwash merino and nylon blend. Excuse me. So there's the ball of yarn. It's starting to squish because I've been using quite a bit of it. But in 2 weeks' time, I love just the funfettiness of this colorway. So the Trillion shawl is one of the one in a series of 4 shawls that Martina Bam designed based on Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And Trillion's one of the main characters, who very smart, very intelligent woman. And I've made a bit of headway. While hubby's been at work, I did take it along with me, but didn't knit a whole lot on it. It's got this lovely kind of, I don't want to call it a fishnet edging, it's too structural for that, but that, and it's not quite, it's an eyelet edging, but it's not a lacy eyelet edging. I don't know how else to describe this, guys. I'm sorry. I stink at this. Why am I a video caster? I don't know. So, working on it. It's slightly bigger. It could be a small scarf / cowl if I ended it right now, but I'm not going to end it right now. I have my little progress marker in here. Where it's hanging is where I ended 2 weeks ago, so I got 3-ish inches done. Rows are getting longer. It takes me a lot longer to get through them, but I'm getting through them. So let's move this bad boy up. There we go. So we are ready for next week. So yeah, it's coming along. I love the way it's not really pooling, and it's, you know how everyone kind of hated variegated yarn for a while because everyone was scared of that clown barf thing. I think Megan perfectly captured how not to get clown barf. Just the blips and dats, I just made up a word. Blips and dashes and dots of color along this. It makes it so fun to knit because you never know what you're going to come across next. Every stitch, it seems like, is a different color, a different thing, but it doesn't look awful or like a horrible mishmash. It literally looks like, to me, like funfetti cake. So I might rename this my funfetti scarf, and we'll see how that turns out. But for now, I'm enjoying that immensely. Second thing I have on the needles that I did manage to do a little bit of work on during nap times, and we're being joined by someone. Is it a daisy? It's a daisy! Hi, Munchkin. Hi. Do you want to come say hi? Come around. Come on. Come on. Jump up. Ready? Come on. We had a spa day, didn't we? And now she's like, I'm cold. Put me down. I know, because I have cold hands, yes. But the Disappointing Stripes sweater for Tara, which the actual pattern name is the Playful Stripes cardigan by Alana Dakos. It's disappointing for several reasons. which if you go over to the project page, I've listed down in the notes section. The pattern itself is not the disappointing part. It's the fact that I couldn't remember. Excuse you. A little bit of a burp there. I couldn't remember that the pattern called for sport weight. Either that or I looked at the worsted weight and went, I like this color. It's worsted, not sport. It'll be fine. So, yeah. That, the dye job on the yarn, it's just, yeah. So, 2 weeks ago, when I last saw you, I had finished the body, so let me get that out here quick. The body, up to the arms, is done. It doesn't look very long, but remember, it's for a toddler, and also it's curling because it's stockinette. It will actually come down where these eyelets are at the bottom. That will flip up. Everything below that will flip up, and it will have a little picot edge on it. So I'm actually, because of the yarn issue, I'm actually knitting a 9-month size per the pattern numbers. But I'm doing length for the largest size, the 6-year, 6T, whatever the heck size my child is, for the length, because like the sleeves, it has you knit them up to 11 inches. Currently, at 2, almost 3 years old, Tara's arm, she has her mama's orangutan arms, that's all I can say, because from her underarm to her wrist, she measures 11.5 inches. I want to get a couple of years of wear out of this sucker. So I'm going to knit to 13 inches for length, and the sleeves can be a little bit long and they can be rolled up. Gosh darn it, because this is for a child and I'm putting a lot of work into this. So I'm going to make sure it fits. Dang it. So I started the sleeves while we were in Nebraska. I am doing them just so I don't lose my ever-loving mind. Excuse me, I didn't bring anything to drink down with me, that's what I forgot. I'm doing them 2 at a time. They are knitted flat. I know my mom's probably yelling at the screen right now saying, why didn't you knit them in the round? Because I didn't want to, Mom. There's enough brain power being taken up here by other things. But I cast them on. I have made it through 3 sets of increases on the sleeves so far. And then, like I said, I will knit them out. And these are just like the bottom of the sweater, where there's a little hem that will be sewn up. See the little eyelets there? That hem will be flipped up there. But I will knit these to 13 inches, not the 11 inches that the pattern calls for the 6T size. Just because, like I said, I want to get some wear out of this. The yarn is gorgeous. Now that I have set the dye. It is Lisa Souza's, her Blueface Leicester worsted weight. She does have a sport weight as well, I believe, but she didn't have it in the colors I wanted when I was at Interweave Yarn Fest. That was it. So I got it in the worsted. The colors are Gray Blade is the main color, and then the contrast color is called Joseph's Coat, and I'm just using 1 contrast color instead of, I believe, the 4 that the pattern calls for, because this, at the edges of the sleeves, is enough crazy for weaving in ends. I didn't want to weave in 18 bajillion other ends. So, there's where I'm at. I'm partway into the sleeves. Feels like it knits up a lot faster for some reason. I don't know why. I'm using a US 7, which is a 4.5 millimeter needle, and a US 6, which is a 4.0 millimeter needle, for knitting the whole sweater up. And that's just based on my gauge swatch that I did, what hand I was happy with the sweater for the main body, and that was the 7. It's also the easiest to do the math on because it came out to exactly 5 stitches per inch. Yes. So, yeah, I started one other thing, and so basically, we went back to Nebraska because, and this is a little bit of various and sundry thrown in the middle of all the knitting, because we went back to Nebraska for my husband's, one of his cousins' weddings. The church it was at is in a town, population 27, I believe, 27 or 29. Has a very large Catholic church in it, and that's the only church in town. the wedding was held there. It was a 2-hour full Catholic Mass. Probably the highlight of the whole thing was right after communion when hubby took Gabe out to go to the bathroom, because toddlers, potty training toddlers that sit there for 2 hours are going to need to leave to go to the bathroom at some point. He comes back, comes running down the pew toward me from the side aisle and announced for the whole congregation to hear, "Mom, I went potty!" He was so proud of himself. I turned about 8 shades of red and everyone around us was giggling. But I needed something to do for the drive there and then the drive back to another town, larger small town that was having the reception. So I had finished one other project, so I didn't have anything I could just run out the door screaming with. Grabbed needles, I grabbed yarn, and the yarn I grabbed was the Lollipop yarn that I just recently purchased at my sister Knits up in Fort Collins. The colorway is called Some Like It Hot, and it is in her Gripes base, which I believe, yeah, it's an 80/20 superwash merino nylon blend. I've never been able to score Lollipop yarn in an online update. Everything seems to sell out before I even have the chance to look at colors. So when I saw Lollipop yarn at my sister Knits, I was like, I have to get one. So far I'm loving it. This is the ball of yarn. The Some Like It Hot. It's 6 rows of Smooch, which I believe is the pink, and 6 rows of I Feel Pretty, which is the white with the pink, orange, and yellow purple speckles in it. And the way it's knitting up, it will get his own project bag. It's been riding around in this one, and then it was loose in my purse for a while we were in Nebraska. So the pattern that I'm using is one, you can have a couple options. It's called the Genevieve's Tube Socks. It's written by Cute Knitter and Gigi Darling, which is Jasmine and Gigi from the Knit More Girls podcast. The pattern's available on Ravelry for $1. It's a very simple pattern. I'm not going to give away the secret sauce or anything. All the money they make off of it goes into what they dub Genevieve's Adventure Fund. So it's all going toward her little girl, who I believe is 4 now. I believe she's 4. So I'm knitting this up, decided to pull it out. Tara loves anything pink. The yarn was already wound up. I had a free needle. I'm like, let's do this. This is a simple enough pattern. So I'm knitting the pattern includes both a top down and a toe up. You can do either way. So if you have yarn scraps left over from knitting yourself socks and you want to do toe up, great. I had a whole ball, so I'm not worried. And I'm about 5 inches into this. Every 2 rows, or every 2 stripes, is roughly an inch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm still working on the pink, but I'm almost done. Like, I've got 3 feet of the Smooch left. Using a US 1, a 2.25 millimeter needle. I've had Tara try it on. This stretches. The beauty of it is there's no heel. It's just a tube sock, and you whack a toe on the end, and then as the child grows, where the heel, because kids' feet grow so fast, what's hitting as a heel on a baby, and might be a knee high or a thigh high on a baby, they can continue to wear as a toddler, because where their heel is at moves, so the wear spot moves with it, and kids really don't care if the heel fits perfectly. At least my children don't seem to, because their socks flip around all the time, and doesn't bug them. It'll bug the snot out of me, but oh well. So, got that done. 5 inches of sock. Probably the last 1.5 inches or so has been since we got home. So I made good progress on this between going to the wedding and then driving, hubby driving for a small while back across Nebraska before I took over so we didn't crash the car. He was tired, but he was really insistent he wanted to drive, and then, yeah. So, I'm calling those socks my pink for Tara, because as soon as she sees anything pink, it is her pink. Whether it's my pink dress, my pink socks, my pink shoes, it's just my pink! And then she hugs whatever it is, and it was all I could do to get her to take the partially done sock off rather than run around trailing yarn all over the house with her. But she didn't throw too much of a fit, so that's good. All right. So, like I said, I have an FO. So my FO of the week, moving on, is my I'm a Rock Star socks. These are my 72 stitch vanilla socks out of the Gales Sock Art blank. Rockstar Rainbow. So Gales Art does these awesome stenciled dyed sock blanks. And I got this one at SSK 2015. This is what I have left of that huge, like, 4-foot long thing. What can I say? I have big feet. So this is what I have left. Probably not enough to get the kids some socks out of them. But both kids tried to claim the one finished sock while I was working on the second. So, meh. My socks, not theirs. So, socks almost match. This one was the first one. You can see where the stars started further up. Here's the second one. I didn't hit the final stars until all the way down here. However, just putting them side by side, I'm going to turn it. They are the same length, I promise. They're just not lining up for some reason. Meh. They're almost identical. Almost. There's some spots that aren't, but pretty darn close. I'm happy with how these came out. I'm not OCD enough and I wasn't planning on them matching, but danged if they didn't match. I'm happy. I knit them up on a US 1, 2.25 millimeter needle, and I started them August 8th, finished them October 5th. I could have sworn I knit these a lot faster than that, but 2 months, that's not bad, I guess. Hello, Daisy. Why aren't you snuggling Daddy? Did he shut you out of the bedroom so he could nap? You poor thing. I've done a little bit of cross stitching while in the ensuing 2 weeks. I didn't take any back to Nebraska with me. I figured we're not going to have enough time, and Lord knows I didn't want to lose a needle in the carpet at the in-laws, so I only have a little bit of A Very Merry Christmas Town to show you. It's almost complete. I am so happy with this. There's no real good way to show this. So A Very Merry Christmas Town was the mystery Christmas knit-along that Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery hosted last year in 2015. I fell woefully behind, obviously. But I'm almost done. So if you did it by the clues that they sent out, the toy shop in the middle was clue 1, the candy shop was clue 2, the Christmas tree farm was clue 3, and then the bottom banner bits and bobs was clue 4. I have finished the bits and bobs on the left over here. Completely done, finished. I started on the right and then thought, well, let's do some of the left too, try to get it all done. Well, I came back to the right. I have finished everything except for the matching holly berries and little gold package down in the corner. So 2 little things left, and then this will be done, and I can try to find a framer or a framing place and get this off. You know, I'm really glad that I am looking at this again, because you people are no help at spotting stuff. Mrs. Claus's legs, like right above her shoes, those 4 little peach colored stitches, yeah, they were missing. None of you saw that and pointed that out to me. How many times have I posted this stuff on Instagram, held it up on the show, and no one saw it? I realize on the show it's kind of up and down, but still, come on, help me, people. But I saw it. It's fixed. She has legs. She's not just floating in air over her shoes. Yeah. So, ready to go. Almost done. I should be able to finish that hopefully this weekend. We'll see. Not sure. So, that's everything. Oh, you brought me an offering. I have a smelly coon. Gross. That's everything that I have for you. It's just because it's been 2 weeks and I know I've rambled on a lot, I'm not going to pull any questions from the Any Questions thread. Please, if you have questions for me, feel free to contribute over there. It's stickied at the top of the Ravelry group. Feel free to join. What's coming up, and what I really honestly thought about casting on instead of the Socks for Tara, was going to be Socks for Gabe. I took this along with me. It's just we were on our way out the door. I purchased this for him on the little yarn crawl that Irish Diva and Desert Vista Dye Works and I went on while we were at SSK 2015. Oh, I can't remember which shop we were at. Doesn't help. So I bought this Turtle Pearl Yarns. It's a self-striping. The colorway is called Superman. And Gabe gets cashmere socks. Because it was the only boyish color that they had. So these will be Gabe's socks. The Some Like It Hot will be Tara's. And I didn't, basically, we were like 5 minutes from walking out the door to go to the wedding, and I didn't have time to wind this into a ball before I left. So that will be coming up. It'll be the same pattern that Tara's is going in. And that's it. I think that's everything. So everyone, I hope that you've had a good 2 weeks, and until next week, happy knitting.